based on what you told me, what would be a concern why you would call Condell on that one if you don't need to call? Because she passed out? Say, oh, you've been there multiple times?
Well, no.
Well, we had this lady multiple times.
She's had this happen a lot, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering. So this, you dotted your i's, crossed your t's, you put in there what you needed to have, and I assume you felt that she was able to refuse based on it, or else you wouldn't have accepted it, right? Alright.
Basically, we'll call Condell for a refusal. If we feel that they should go, we will always call Condell to confirm that it's also on record stating that we were attempting to get them to go. It's just another form of follow-up if we need to.
Yeah, I'm good, I was just curious. Acuity was yellow when you got there, what does that mean?
We'll get back to you on that.
No, I get it, and isn't there not a final when you leave her?
Maybe they got told out as patient who was unconscious.
Yeah, I get that, but my point is there a final when you're done to accept the refusal, or no?
The final security says at destination on our request, if it when there's refusal.
Okay, I was just curious, if she was, do you want, I mean, they can be yellow and still accept a refusal. I mean, in red, you could even probably get a refusal technically in the right
But the final
situation.
security goes right if we do that with it has to be transported, because it's at the end of transporting, it doesn't
Okay,
say final.
I was just curious about that, that's all. And there's that one. Again, this one, or you're at the patient, so you have about a 12-minute patient interaction. This her? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is her?
There she is.
What a woman.
She's 6.
Alright, so she get there, she fell. She's alert knowing 3 out of 4. Sitting up, kneeling on her legs, feet under her butt, right next to bed, saying that her feet were hurt. Patient denied head, neck, back pain. Patient stated she was feeling pain on her right toe. Patient denied feeling dizzy or weak prior to fall. She keeps falling because the disease that she has. Do you know, is there actually a disease, or is she just saying that? So that, you might want to put in what that is, her disease. Anyway, parentheses MS. Crew tried to convince patient to get evaluated in hospital, patient refused. Crew tried to convince patient to be seen in hospital, say get her assisted living facility for 24-hour care. The last time she went to the facility, they would not let her out of bed. Patient is now wearing a diaper that looks to be solid. Soiled?
Solid.
It might be, maybe not. Medical control contacted and relayed patient ANO times 3 out of 4. Dr. Beach replied that they did not ask for patient alert nor any doctor asked if we thought she was mentally capable of caring for herself. Crew replied they were unsure and that the patient was able to physically take care of herself. With the patient on the phone, and we did so, patient talked on the phone, stating that she was unable to get a hold of her caregiver and then returned the phone, spoke to the doctor said accept it. You know what? Then you accept it. You totally covered there. That is the best scenario you could have in this situation.
Because we call every single time.
I would too. And does she get on the phone every single time?
No. Yeah, she's trying to run a
Dr. O'Kay did
phone
every single
too.
time.
Her scooter, multiple times.
Get out the way. Really quick, in that situation, that's the best result. Why don't you transport her? I mean, obviously she's not gonna fight you, she has MS. That's the heartless lawyer talking, anyway. But, why don't you transport her? I'm just curious.
We try every time.
Well, I mean,
Because the hospital sends her home.
so alert oriented 3 out of 4, when do you get concerned about the alert oriented, what number triggers you to be concerned about her ability to refuse? ANO times 2?
Well, anytime, yeah, anytime is other than 4, but her problem sometimes is she won't know what day it is, because she never leaves her place. So, I don't remember what day it is half the
So is that normal for her?
Yeah.
But she also has all of our questions memorized, so she starts saying it the second you walk in. That's why we created this thing to call Condell every time, so it's on them.
Okay,
And they
I
don't,
agree with that approach.
and the reason why we don't really push too much to transport her is because when we do transport her, she's back 3 hours later and we have to go back
She
there
leaves
to
the
hold her
hospital
and
before
into bed.
Yeah.
So they don't care, they're annoyed that we have to call all the time, but we're annoyed that we have to call them all the time.
I think that's pretty prudent on this situation where somebody does have a degenerative disease. And obviously, there is gonna be a point in time where the mechanism of injury is gonna be such that there will be an injury. She can still refuse. I mean, she can break her leg when she falls on the floor and still refuse.
She's fallen on the heater before in the bathroom and then like burned the hell out of her leg multiple times.
That's soon, no, she felt.
Oh, she felt it.
She felt that one?
About 3 weeks later, she was really feeling it.
So my point is, I think that's the most prudent thing in this situation is every time call the hospital, put it on them. And you explain to them that she is a frequent flyer, she has this disease and blah, 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 blah. That's the safest. And if they tell you to bring her, even if she's back in 3 hours. That's on them if they release her then, right? If something happens in that time period. Other questions on refusals?
Yes.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on responding to that particular person, not lights and sirens, if they call 911?
You respond to every 911 call, lights and sirens, is my position.
So our protocol with the department is to respond to her non-emergent as long as it's like a call where she pressed her life alert button and it's a lift assist.
But do you know by pressing, I don't know how that works. I just need to get it picked up or?
You don't know until you get there.
Unless, so normally when we write these reports now, we put in there that, you know, ambulance 212 responded to this location, non-emergent per department guidelines.
To me, if life alert, they call 911 then, right? Now how that works? Right? If you're asking me as the lawyer, the safest thing to do is you respond to all 911 calls, lights and sirens, because you don't really know what you got till you get there. Right? Again, that's a lawyer thing, that's not an operational thing. I'm not telling you what you're doing is wrong.
We've been called to her house to uncross her legs.
I get it,
I don't disagree with what you say.
right.
This
And I get the risks associated going lights and sirens versus
Correct.
non-lights and sirens, that they are enhanced, because people act like idiots with lights and sirens.
This is a house, you know, we have the CAD notes, if it said lift assist, you know, they've been told, and it's, you know, they're directed to say, okay, don't go driving that hell to get there. If you see there's some other problem, she had the angulated ankle or something, lights and sirens.
Or sitting on the heater.
Yeah, and I guess if your protocol takes into account the nature of the dispatch, right? She needs a lift assist or versus she fell on the heater in the bathroom, then I assume the heater in the bathroom is lights and sirens versus the lift assist.
Correct.
But my other question I have for you is, do you treat all lift assists the same way?
Not all lift assists fall under this category as to
Well,
over
why is one lift assist more emergent than another?
200.
Doesn't matter, a lift assist, a lift assist.
And that's a fine line we walk, and we're this close to saying, okay, all lift assists are non-emergent. If dispatch notes say lift assist, it's a non-emergent response, only because of the dangers you have. The less exposure you have to lights and siren, the better off you are.
See, my only concern with the lift assist is you have a questionable historian calling in saying what happened sometimes. And you don't know what caused the need to be lifted, right?
I agree.
Did they pass out and fall and come to and say they just want to be picked up? Or is it some, you know, so to me, if you're asking for the lawyer's belts and suspender answer, is you go lights and sirens to every 911 call. Because otherwise you as a department are deciding what lift assists are more important than other lift assists. To me, that can be a problem. I'm not saying that it is a problem, this could be a problem.
So,
Even if in our notes that we're told that we're going to a lift assist, that they need
No
help
injuries.
getting out of a car into their house, because they're
If
getting
it's
help
something like
getting
it's
out there.
prearranged, or they call, or they say, listen, I just got back from the hospital, can you help me get my husband out of the car?
They're still
That's
calling
different.
911 though.
But that, to me, that's, like I said, the dispatch will somewhat dictate that, but you're talking somebody who pushes the button, and I don't know if she says something to him, like I've fallen.
yeah,
It's
similar.
on fire.
My apartment's on fire. That was a totally different response.
No, I get it. So the answer to your question is, I'm not saying automatic, I guess all 911 calls. The majority of 911 calls should always be lights and sirens. And even with the frequent flyer, the fact that you've been there 100, 600, 500 times doesn't eliminate that it could be the one time. Now, if you have information from dispatch that it's this type of call where she just needs to get out of the car, or she just needs to uncross her legs, or whatever it is, then you as a department have to make a judgment call whether to go lights and sirens. And there is protection for exercising judgment under the law, as long as there's a basis for it. You know what I mean? Not just the fact you've been there 600 times. that's not gonna be good enough. There's gonna have to be specific criteria where you're gonna go license sirens versus where you're not, if you're, in my mind.
If it's a lift assist.
Right.
Now, put your other hat on. I hire you,
For what?
huh? To defend my district, thank you.
Okay, I know that,
We've been down this road.
yes.
So I hire you to defend or to represent me and my wife who got smoked through the intersection because the ambulance came through, lights and siren to a lift assist.
I'm good with it.
You're good to defend me?
Defend.
Or defend, or to
Defend the
represent me? We got hurt really bad. I'm
Yeah.
suing the
You
fire
should've
department.
yielded to the
They should
lights
know
and sirens.
better than to go lights and
You
siren.
should have yielded the lights and sirens though.
They should have came to a complete stop per department policy.
I would say that.
They should have came to a complete stop through the
Well,
intersection
if they
per
didn't do that,
department
then that's a
policy.
bigger problem, I agree with that.
Okay,
But generally
thanks, I
speaking,
win.
I have no problem. I have no
What's the
problem
settlement?
defending, responding
over
to a
under.
911 call, where based on the totality of the information provided to you, that in your judgment call, that it is the best decision to respond lights and sirens. I have no problem defending that.
Everyone's gonna decide that they're gonna go non-licensed sirens.
But to me, like I said, that's why if you want to always respond to every 911 call, lights and sirens, that eliminates any potential, well, why did you do this time, not this time, right? Or it was the CAD note, didn't really have this in there, but it kind of fell under the same sort of scenario. To me, if you're asking me for the way to have none of these issues, you should always go lights and sirens. I understand, and then it gets into the whole, do we transport BLS or ALS, right? On a BLS call, do you not go lights and sirens because somebody has a sprained ankle?
It's our judgment.
Right, that's
And
my
what's the
point.
moral of the story?
We're so
Your
far
judgment
away.
is going to,
You're gonna just have to be able to back it up why you
Right.
did or what you know, that's,
Exactly.
that's the reality of
can
it.
you rationalize your decision?
Yep.
Thanks. I can.
I think a jury would understand that if we pull up the last 3 years of calls there and you've been there 300 times,
600.
600, it's always been this, I can't uncross my legs, or, then, yeah, I think the jury's gonna get it, is that willful and wanton, then, probably not, right? Because that's what you have to show. But if she calls and says the house is on fire, you still, this is her again, and as you get to the house is on fire, you're gonna have a problem.
No, that got everybody's attention going, see, we told you she was gonna kill herself and burn the house down.
Exactly, so,
Vindication is what
and I
that's
assume you
called.
guys have reported some of this to the because county
Oh,
welfare.
you have no idea.
I'll move on then. Alright, so. I just had one question on this with her, and because she said her big toe hurt. Is that her complaint, or is it a lift assist?
That was her complaint.
So, what was, lift assist?
No, that her foot hurt.
Yeah, because lift assist is a complaint, right? That's what I just pointed out. It should be what the patient says bothering her, I don't care. Alright, I'm good with that. Alright, let's get, you all understand your mandated reporters? Child abuse, elder abuse. You understand that you can't rely on the hospital to call, you need to call, you need to document the fact that you call. And child abuse, usually you get a number, a case number. Elder abuse, they usually just file it under the person's name. But if, you gotta put down somewhere in a report that you called, the date and time you called, and if there's a number you can reference as the case number or person that you spoke to, you put that down. You need to call, the hospital suspects it, they need to call as well. So just because the house says, yeah, we're gonna call, we'll take care of it, or the police are there and they see it, say, we're gonna take care of it, no, you call too, that's your obligation. Alright? Alright, that's easy, let's go through depositions and then we'll. Alright. Depositions. Depositions are really designed to do three things. One is to find out what you know, what you don't know, and try to figure out whether you're a good or bad witness. Alright, that's what we do. Now, depositions where you're just being called in as a witness, like, oh, somebody got in an accident, they want you to come in and testify to the pain that they had on the scene. That's not a big deal. The ones where you are accused of doing something wrong, and there's a lawsuit against the department, those are a big deal because you are actually being accused of malpractice, of having a conscious disregard or utter indifference towards that patient you were treating. So I always tell people in depositions, if I were to jump in the back, and when we talk about this, if I get in the back of the ambulance with you on a call, I'm gonna be lost. You guys will be doing things, flying around, doing stuff, I'm not gonna understand it. Right? But when you come to do a deposition, you're playing the lawyer's game. And you may be the only paramedic in that room, but you're playing my game. And it's a game that involves words. And taking words and phrases and manipulating them a little bit to see if I can get you to go where I want you to go. So I always tell people, when you come in, I want you to be confident about your abilities, but not cocky. The cocky witness usually does the worst. The cocky witness usually makes a deposition that should be over an hour and a half, 2 hours, go 3 hours. Because they want to show that they're the smartest person in the room. So when we talk about depositions, it's about preparation, it's about being who you are. It's about being the professional that you are. And understanding that